Hey there, welcome to What Dogs Really Want, the podcast where we ditch some old school myths and explore what dogs really need to thrive in the modern world. We are your hosts. There is Maren
Oh,
and
frog
Alana.
in my throat.
There's
Croak.
the
Hello.
frogs are everywhere right now. And me, I'm Stephanie. Each week we break down canine behavior looking through the lens of ethology, enrichment, and empathy. And whether you're a dog pro or just in love with your dog, you're in the right place. We do want to clarify that our podcast was created to express our feelings and discuss how we can better support the dogs in our lives. We don't wish to offend anyone. Our goal is to view things from a dog's perspective and explore how we can all adjust our behavior to ensure our dogs live their happiest lives.
And this week, after a brief hiatus, we are back and we are talking about social pressure and social dynamics because obviously, with what dogs want, we know a lot about social dynamics and we've done a lot to learn more about social dynamics. Um, so, yeah, we're just going to talk about that. That'll lead into social pressure, which we've covered a bit briefly, but we're going to go more in depth. So, I think we're just going to start out defining those two terms and go from there.
I think that's a good place to start because some of you may not know exactly what social dynamics are. Um, and what's really interesting is I was Googling last night just to see what information is out there on social dynamics, and it is really hard to find information on this. It always wants to go to, is your dog alpha or beta? Are they submissive? Are they dominant? It's really interesting. It doesn't go into what dynamics really is. It's about the interactions between dogs. So the actual definition, social dynamics is patterns of interaction, relationships, and change within and between social groups and societies. How everyone relates to each other, how they form and function, and the patterns of their daily interactions. And that can be for any living being, humans. We're going to talk specifically about dogs, but any being has some sort of social dynamic within their group. And interspecies, there are dynamics between us and our dogs, which we'll go into more. But it's interesting that if you just Google, it goes to an automatic alpha, beta, dominant, submissive, when another podcast will be debunking some of those myths, but it's much more complex than that. It's very complicated
Mm-hmm.
and it's very fluid. So that's social dynamics. And just I'll tell you about social pressure as well, and then we'll go on with discussing. Social pressure is the influence from a group or individual that pushes a dog or human or zebra, any kind of being, but for our purposes, dog, um, pushes dogs to conform to certain behaviors to fit in. There is an element of control or manipulation about it. And again, there's not a lot of information about that as well in relation to dogs. So hopefully we can inspire you to learn a little more about it and watch your dogs and learn from them what this means for them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel if you have a dog in your life, this is incredibly important to know about. So I was a little disappointed that there's not more useful information out there. Um, all right, so who wants to at least throw out some examples of what we're talking about? And we'll.
Well, well, for us at least, obviously we have our group classes, which I guess we can kind of talk about. So our structure for the school is each day we're open, we have a group of 8 to 10 dogs per day, and those dogs are together every week. The dogs come on the same day every week. So it's these groups that we've really carefully curated to try and give them all the best experience. So I guess if we maybe want to start off by kind of talking about how we've done that and like trial and error and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a good start.
Yeah, I feel like it is really trial and error. We I mean, fortunately have had a lot of our dogs for years, so they have grown some of them have grown up together, which helps, but there is always an element of you don't really know what to expect when a new dog enters that group, and I think we know how to set the environment up so that they, can integrate as easily as they can. But I mean, it's the whole point of the social dynamics of dogs is that it's never guaranteed of how it's going to play out no matter how you set it up. Sometimes the dogs just don't mesh.
Mhm.
And dogs can have bad days, just like
Mhm.
us. So we usually have a rule where we give a dog at least 3 days before we make a decision, 3 classes, um, to kind of account for that. There is definitely like a hazing ritual because, like Elena said, we've got a lot of dogs that just know each other. They may not all be friends, but they understand each other and what their communications are, and it's makes it a lot easier. They've all figured each other out. And then anytime you add a new dog, it can be the most low key, chill, I love everybody dog, and there's still like a hazing ritual, which is really fascinating to me. And it's not always an ugly fraternity boy hazing ritual, but there's always like, new kid, new kid. But it usually, goes away. If we've got a good group and we trust them and they trust us that we're not going to bring somebody into the group and like, there you go.
Mhm.
Um, we've got it to a really good place. And I'm sure a lot of clients would tell you there's been a lot of headaches for them along the way because we
Sorry.
swap. I know it's always for the dogs, truly. But the more we learn and the ages and stages of some of the dogs, it just changes. It's so fluid, and it's really, really important for us to have a, a compatible, I love the word curated group. We really do. This last time we kind of changed it up. We literally did that. We didn't have some dogs come on some days and told other people what day their dog would fit well on, and we had to let some of them go who just can't, they don't enjoy being in a group. It's, nothing bad or good. It's just, they're not comfortable. They make the other dogs uncomfortable. It's really hard. Um, but when you
And
have a good group, it's gold. It's just gold for
and it
everybody.
yeah, it is also just a thing, like, when we have had to, like, kick some dogs out of the class just because they don't fit in. Either they just don't enjoy being in a group or they just don't fit in with any of the groups that we have. And we are such a small business, like, we run out of, like, a casita in the backyard, so, like, we don't have the staff or the room to separate all these dogs and give, like, if one dog doesn't get along with the rest of the group, we don't have the resources to be able to give them the best day and everybody else the best day. Like, that's why it's so important for us specifically that everybody does mesh well. Like it's such a small little community we have, and so we can only do what we can do. But I feel like that's a big thing too. Like when we have had to kick some dogs out, and the parents don't get it because they're like, "Oh, but they love dogs. Like, they love playing with dogs. They love being around dogs." And while that is the case, I think a big thing about the social dynamics too is your dog might love dogs and get along with dogs, but your dog might not love every dog. Or, like, this dynamic, like, the dynamics are so complicated, and we might go into that a bit later, but, like, every dog and every person plays off each other, and if one thing is off, it changes the whole dynamic. So it's just one of those things, like, yeah, your dog might love dogs, but this group of dogs might not be for your dog. And I think that's hard to understand because people, I feel like, just generalize like, "Oh, but my dog is so
Hmm.
friendly, they could just get along with any group of dogs." And while that may be the case, that your dog might be fine with the rest of the dogs, your dog might be throwing off the dynamic between other dogs for,
Hmm.
like, no discernible reason, just
Hmm.
all that all that goes into a group dynamic, especially in such close quarters.
I feel like
Yeah.
our dynamic is also, like, different as well. Like, it's not like a typical dog daycare where the dogs are just in a group hanging out all day. Like, we have opportunities for them to do activities. There's sometimes food involved, so I feel like we've said it before, it could come across as like a competitive environment to some dogs, and most of them love it, but some dogs just don't know how to, I
Wait
don't
their
know, make the
turn.
splits.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, some dogs just take it a little too far. Um, and so I think that also contributes to our dynamic that makes it difficult. It's not just like, well, they have to get along with everyone. It's like they have to get along with everyone. They have to, wait their turn, like you said. They have to
Respect
not
space, like
respect space. They can't resource guard food or us. Like, there's just
Mhm.
so many things.
mhm. And I feel
Yeah.
like that makes us maybe more unique, and I don't wanna say it makes us know better, but I feel like because it is such close quarters and, like, such a different thing, we've had to learn a lot more about that sort of thing. So, like, maybe we do have a sort of different insight than the sort of bigger dog daycare, and, like, boarding facilities do because we have to really carefully curate this thing and not just accept whatever dog wants to come in, so I don't know.
No,
Yeah.
that's true. It's hard. We haven't found a lot of places that do what we do because it isn't easy. Because we can't have a lot of dogs, it's not a big money maker, and that's not at all while we're in it. We just wanted a really cool um place for dogs to have their best days doing literally what dogs want to do, not what we think they should be doing. So we want to have that freedom to, okay, so and so is having a rough day. We're going to give them a little more single attention, and the rest of the dogs can be together in a group. Like we have that ability to kind of tailor the day as we need to for the dogs that we have now. And that's really important to us. We do always look at things from their perspective. And unfortunately, I think because the daycares, a lot of them are so big, they just have to manage and keep everybody safe. We've had people work for us who work in daycares, large franchise daycares, and I don't want to generalize, but they've got to have the numbers to support their rent and the staff and then probably their insurance, whatnot. But they have told us we are told just to keep everybody alive and safe. And that's
Yeah,
kind of
prevent
sad.
any
I mean,
fights.
Mhm.
yeah, that's not really fun. And we'll go, this is all about dynamics. It's like, so there's a study that I wanted to try to find, but I ran out of time. But it's about when a dog walks into a room, or a human, any being walks into a room, but dogs are mostly instinctually looking at where they fit in a group because they have to figure out quickly, where is my place? Um, if you have one dog who walks into a room with six other dogs and two humans. So let's say it's a really small daycare. This dog goes in there and they have to assess where they fit and their relationship with each individual dog that's already there, each of the two humans, but then they also have to figure out the relationship between each of the dogs to each other and the relationship with those dogs to the humans. So you have one dog going into a room of six dogs and two people, and there's already 36 different dynamics that they're trying to figure out fast so they know where they can fit in and be safe. Because it's all about safety and
Mhm.
feeling comfortable and feeling like you have some autonomy in this group that you didn't even choose to go to. Someone tosses you in and it's like, shit, how am I going to survive this? Okay. So if it goes up to one dog walking into a group of 12 dogs, and I think most daycares probably have more than 12 dogs at a time anyway,
Mhm.
not even including the two humans, but one dog walking into a group of 12 dogs, so maybe a small dog park. There are 78 different dynamics that they have to figure out like that. That's a lot. That try to imagine you going into a party with 12 people and you're just trying like, okay, what's their relationship? What's their relationship? What's my relationship to them? And then to that person, and then that person and that person. That's a
No,
lot going
this was
in your brain.
this was literally me on Friday night. I had a friend's birthday party to go to, and this friend, they have so many friends from all sorts of different friend groups, so they were all there together, and I walked in, and I was like, "I know 5 people here out of, like, the 30 people that are in this bar." So I was like, "Okay, where are my friends? Who are they
Yeah.
talking to? Could I join in on that conversation, or should I try to find someone else to talk to? Who knows each other?" that person's talking to my friends, so maybe I could go talk to them too. Oh, they're playing a game right now, so maybe I shouldn't go over there. Oh, that person looks really deep in thought. Oh, all my friends are now gone, so maybe I'll just sit in this corner by myself for a bit. Like, like
Where's
literally,
the
this
dog
was
I can pet?
I know,
was
right?
literally me on Friday. And at
Right.
one point in the night, I was just sitting in the corner with a beer by myself because I was like, everybody I know is talking to someone else. I feel like I've used up all my conversational starters. Like, I need to reset. I don't know what to do.
It's exactly like that for dogs, and I don't think most dog parents realize that, and it's exhausting. For me, when I was writing all that out, it's like, God, that was me in junior high. Every day you walk in there and you're like, crap. And I'm just going to vote for
Mhm.
being the goth in the corner and please just leave me alone. And every day is different because the popular girls would switch all the time, and who was the
Mm,
cool jock wasn't the cool jock anymore. And you'd have your foreign exchange kids come in, and it's always all fluid. And it's like that for most daycares, for dog parks. Because the crowd's not always the same. And I think that's another thing that makes us really special is we try to maintain the same groups, or if someone leaves, we try to replace that dog with someone who's similar temperament, play style, so it's not dropping an H bomb on the rest of the group. Like, okay, how about this now? It's just
Mhm.
they
how
don't
about a
have the ability to.
Bernedoodle?
Not not a Bernedoodle. I know anything but a Bernedoodle. No offense, Bernedoodles. We don't wish to offend. It just happens sometimes.
If you know, you know.
Bernedoodles
But
are
it's true, and again, they're not choosing to be there. We have a lot of space, and on a nice day, we keep our classroom doors open so they can exit into our half-acre yard if they need to. But sometimes it's hot and they can't, or it's
Mhm.
raining and they can't, or whatever reason. So we give them as much freedom as possible, and I think we do better than most facilities, but we're still limited. And so you've got to think about all these things that are going on in your dog's brains when choosing a place for them to go, whether it's a daycare or a dog park or any of these places that have groups. It's overwhelming. And there are podcasts on aggression in dogs that go to daycares. That's the only topic. And it makes sense because we've talked about this on numerous podcasts too, in our dog behavior and communication. Um, they go there and they're overwhelmed, and they might be communicating to another dog like, I need some space, back up, back up. And then you have your unqualified
Like the
staff
Lord of the
who's spraying on
Flies.
water. It
Yeah.
is, yeah. A lot of I have
Just
been
a
to some that
fight
are
for
like Lord of the
survival.
Flies. I
Yeah.
know you say the dogs that they like to paint. Like, oh, okay. But that's
I
their coping skill, like they're
Mhm.
it's
That's too
it's
much.
it is too
even for
much.
dog parks too, like how you were saying, like normally at a dog daycare, yeah, there's like a couple staff that they have to figure out their relationship with who may or may not be able to read dogs. And then at a dog park, you know, we were saying there's so many dogs. There's also so many humans,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
true.
general dog owner does not know how to communicate with dogs. So it's like half of the population of the group you can communicate with, kind of. I mean, if the dogs communicate the same way,
Mhm.
most of them do. But as we talked about, like sometimes things can affect it. And then the other half, they're not going to understand you at all. So I feel
Mhm.
like that makes it even more
And
complicated.
then at dog parks, it's like people who don't know what they're looking for half the time aren't looking, period. And
Hmm.
so it's just like
Hmm.
makes it even worse because then if something does happen, then you have like
Mhm.
a dozen people running over and yelling and
Yeah,
freaking out. That's just gonna make everything worse. And
Yeah.
that's like a
yeah,
crazy dynamic to be a part of.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and then we're also really good at interfering when there's good stuff going on because it
Yeah.
looks like social conflict and we want to swoop in and help our dog. A lot of conflict is preventative, like
Mhm.
like the ritualized
That
aggression we talk about
ritualized
all the time.
aggression.
Yeah, like you've got to understand body language and the ways they communicate, which we will do more deep dives on in further podcasts. But it's crazy to me that these people just go out and get dogs and they don't know anything about this. And it's amazing their dogs survive and just don't go bonkers because we're
Mhm.
expecting so much of them.
I know, and
They're trying to survive.
it is crazy because most people, I feel like when they get a dog for the first time, they're like immediately like, I need to get this dog to the dog park. I need to socialize
Yes.
my dog. And so it's all these like first
Yes.
time dog owners with this dog who they barely know even trying to
Yeah.
figure out what they think is best for their dog when they don't even know their dog yet because they've just
Yeah.
gotten this dog and they're like, well, it needs to be socialized. But then how do you expect to be able to make sure your dog's okay and enjoying themselves if like
Yeah.
you don't know anything about dogs and you don't know anything about this dog?
Yeah, who did
That's
the
true.
marketing for that? I don't think people are doing it to be bad dog parents, but
No,
man,
of
there is
course
like
not.
quite
It's
the
just
message out there that this is what
ignorance
you.
in a bad and not in a mean way, but just ignorance.
Yeah. Or puppies. The puppies that are taken to dog parks is like, Jesus Christ, people, do you want your little kid to grow up in a frat house? And that's how
Yeah.
you want them to learn? That's what communities are like? No.
Yeah,
Sorry, Frank.
I think we
But
touched on that when we did
yeah,
our socialization episode, so this all kind of
Mhm.
ties into that as well.
it really does. It really does. And it's easy for us to send the wrong message to them if you're interfering at the wrong time. And it's also really easy for us to miss subtle behaviors because we're not that aware of dog body language and behavior. So
Yeah.
really, this is something you need to learn about. Um, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of information out there, which makes me sad. Maybe we need to have a class or something.
Maybe.
This might be a future thing for us. I was
Yeah.
really surprised. But there are a couple of good podcasts. Michael Shikashio, Biting into the Dog. It doesn't just pertain to aggression in dogs, but because people take aggression seriously, people do tend to do more deep diving into how this behavior occurs and how it can be prevented. So there's really good information on some of his podcasts about dynamics and how complex they are and situations that we throw dogs into that forces them to be aggressive because they're just trying to protect themselves and
Mhm.
feel safe and have some choice. Can I get away? If you can't get away, what are you going to do? You either curl up and let the zombies get you, or you're going to like step up and like, no. So it's really interesting. We'll try to put some of those links in the show notes for
Yeah,
some information.
definitely.
And we'll have to talk about having a class, people.
I know.
Like,
I think the class would be interesting because I feel like the more that people learn about dogs, the more dog parks are kind of like, eh. People are
Yeah.
starting to realize maybe this isn't the best place for my dog. So I feel like if they have a resource to have someone help them, like I know some people live in the same neighborhood and their dogs get together and they hang out. Like
mm-hmm.
if they videotape the interaction and then send it off to someone to be like, does this look like a good play group for my dog? And
Yeah.
then
Mm-hmm.
someone can be like, yeah, that looks okay. Or like, no, look at what that dog's doing. That's
Yeah, or like keep an eye on
bad.
this, like
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think that would
Mm-hmm.
really give people more outlets for their dogs that they didn't even think they could have
Yeah.
and prevent a lot of bad things from happening.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I will say we've got more parents this year, probably than ever, that I'm hearing the terms dog tolerant, dog
Mhm.
social. And I love that they know those terms and they see the difference in that.
And I was
I
gonna
would
say,
say,
we
oh,
have
go
had a
ahead.
few clients who have, like, filmed their dogs playing and have showed you, like,
Yeah.
"D does this look okay? Like, are these 2
Yeah.
friends and stuff?" Which is super cool because they clearly
I
care
love that.
and they wanna know what to look for.
Yeah, I love that.
Mhm.
But there needs to be more information out there on how important that is that you find the right mix for your dog.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it can lead to bad behaviors or unwanted behaviors in your dog. I don't want to say bad because being defensive or being aggressive is not bad. It's a safety feature,
Yeah.
coping still. But like you can really help them out by curating play groups.
Mhm.
Um, Curating play dates and sniff spots now. Elena was saying that there are sniff spots that allow more than one dog at a time. So if you have a couple dogs that your dog really enjoys, you guys can go out there together and have space. Space is
Mhm.
really important. So if they need a break, they can get away.
Mhm.
Another thing that I think daycares lack is when a dog might enjoy it on some level, but holy cow, after like 3 hours of Doodles jumping on you, wanting to play with you all the time and all the time and all the time. It's like, woo, you need some space to
Mhm.
get away.
Yeah, and most dogs who go to daycares are there for like 8 hours because
That's
it's
like a
when they're
full shift.
yeah, it's like when their mom and dad are
Yeah.
at work, so they're there for an entire day. Like, can you imagine? Like,
Yeah.
it's like when you're at college and you're like going to like an all day pool party, and then as soon as it gets dark, oh, let's go back to someone's apartment for the after party. Like, it's just like constant like overstimulation. You're like, oh my god, like, and that's every
No,
day
Yeah.
for some of these
that
dogs. They're
sounds
going there
terrible.
like Monday through Friday, freaking like 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah, and some dogs can handle it, but I would argue that it's not good for any of them. We've had a couple of those dogs who are daycare dogs, and they come to us and they don't know how to regulate themselves at all because they've grown up just thinking like it's play, 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 play. Every dog is play, play, play. They're really tough to have in the group, and some of those we've had to ask to leave because of the pressures they put on the other dogs. It's like they don't want to play with you, but they're not reading their communications. Like
Mhm.
it's okay if you want to ask them to play, but if they say no, you've got to respect that. And
Yeah.
some of them just can't because they've been raised in a group of dogs that it's just like, oh, let's all go, let's all go. Like you
Mhm.
said, they're all at that party. And then you go into a library where there's some cool kids, but most of them just kind of want to learn and
Mhm.
do the stuff. It's really tough. It's
Yeah.
really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that note, like social pressure kind of creeps into this too. And I don't think people know very much about social pressure. And this is one of my favorite things because of how subtle it is. I'm always looking for it at school. And in my house, I've got three very different dogs as far as social pressure. Um, so, an example is Hijinks, who we talk about all the time, very independent, strong willed, a border collie mix. I love her to death. And she comes to you, she wants affection, and she can be goofy and affectionate, but she'll sit on the couch. And if you scoot just a little too close to her, she's like, okay, I'm done because of that social pressure. And you're not really doing anything. You just want to be close to her, but
Mhm.
she's got her boundaries. And it's not like she never wants to be close to me, but it's got to be on her terms. And I am remembering to respect that. I still make mistakes sometimes. And sometimes she can lay on the bed and I'll jump up. And if she doesn't give me that look, it's like, okay, this is cool. And we are to the point where I can like lay on her and use her as a pillow and she's okay with that. But there are some days where she's on the couch and if I scoot literally a half an inch closer to her, she's like, bye. And so it's just funny. That's social pressure for her. And I'm not trying to piss her off. I can't get mad at her for doing that. It's like, oh, Jinxie, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um, where my terrier Chihuahua will sleep under the covers, head on the pillow. You know, like you couldn't snuggle her more. We had a dog sitter last week while we were out of town, and she woke him up in the middle of the night. And he's like, she wouldn't stop licking me. So I grabbed her and I pulled her into the covers and I wrapped the covers around us. And she like slept with her head on his chest.
Man.
And she just wanted that interaction. Yeah, yeah, she did that to Ron. That's
That's
so
so
cute.
I need snuggles, Uncle
sweet.
Ron.
Yeah, she snuggled with Uncle Ron. She's
Oh,
like, my mom and dad are gone.
that's
So,
so
Need some
nice.
love.
yeah. So
Ron's like,
everybody's
I know what you
different.
need.
I know, I know. I know. So you really got to know your dogs and watch their subtle signs. Don't take anything personally. We're all different. You know, I have days where I just want some space and more days where I'm feeling more affectionate and loving. It's just, you know, it's just fluid.
Mhm.
So I think that's something people really need to be more aware of too. We see violations of that all the time
Yeah.
at school between dogs and dogs, between humans and dogs.
It's so
Um,
easy to do because you don't real like, even sometimes if Molly doesn't eat her breakfast and I'm like, "Eat your breakfast,
yeah,
eat your breakfast," and
yeah.
then I'm like, "You know what? I need to shut up because I
Yeah.
wouldn't want someone sitting there going, 'Eat your food, eat your
Yeah.
food, eat your food,
That's
eat
a
your
great example, though. You hear that a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a great
I s
example.
sometimes you forget, and even us who talk about that stuff all the time, like, sometimes I find myself doing it, and I'm like, "That's not cool, I shouldn't be doing that,"
Mhm. Mhm.
but
Yeah.
it just creeps up on you.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think the important thing to remember is, like, even if you do know your dog, like, they might just be having an off day, or they might just like
Yeah.
be a little bit less affectionate that day. Like any one of us, like you were saying, like there are some days when I'm like, I want to be cuddled and I want my head scratched. I want to lay on your lap all day. Like, just, I need you holding my hand. I need to be cuddled right up against you all day. And then there's some days where I'm like, don't touch me. I just don't touch me.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
like for no reason. And so, like, same for your dogs. And that's fine. Like,
Yeah. I just don't wanna
Yeah, you
be
just
touched.
yeah,
yeah,
that's it.
you just
Touch me.
we need to see our dogs through the same lens that we see ourselves. It's like they're intelligent, sentient beings who want autonomy. I mean, we have said that over
Yeah.
and over and over again, but it's like, and we forget sometimes, but then it's like, oh yeah, that's why James left. Stop it. It's like,
And it's like we simultaneously don't think that they are as sentient and educated, intelligent as they actually
kidding.
are, but then we're still like we're holding them to like a higher standard almost than we're holding ourselves or like other humans, because we're like, oh, but they're my dog, like they're here for me to love on them, so they need to let me. But no, they
Yeah.
don't.
Mhm.
Actually, they
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. I
That's
think
we
for
like
us
to, oh, go ahead.
sorry. Oh,
No,
I'm
no.
sorry. I was just tying it into the school, like, for our dynamic, it's like we have to not only keep ourselves in check with not applying social pressure, but we have to make sure that the other dogs aren't applying that social pressure as well.
Mhm.
Because we talked about before,
Mhm.
like, if a dog is in the game area doing their own individual game, and then they're, like, facing towards the because everyone likes to wait at the gate, like,
I know. What are you
and
doing?
watch,
I
like,
know. I'm
so,
next.
sometimes we'll have to, like, turn the game so that they're not, like,
Yes.
directly facing the crowd of dogs that are like, "What are you doing?"
I know,
And
trying to get the treat through the fence.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Trying to
and so
Talk
I
break
about
think
in.
pressure.
yeah, it's just like, we have to think about that kinda stuff all the time because it makes it not fun for them if they're sitting there with an audience, like, "I could do that better," like,
Yeah, it's
applying
like
so much pressure.
yeah, it's like if
Absolutely.
you're trying to, like, build a piece of furniture or something at home and your partner's there like, "Oh, I think the screw goes there. Oh, babe, I think you have it upside down." You'd be like, "Oh my god, shut up. Like, just let me do it. I'll feel like I can do it." Like,
A
look
haunted house
at
full of IKEA furniture,
that.
and someone's telling you you're doing it wrong.
I know. I know John and I love watching The Amazing Race. That's like one of our fantasy shows to go on. And so we're watching it and it's like, if I'm up there on a high wire, do not scream at me like, go, babe, I believe in you. Go, babe, I believe in you. I said, I want silence
Steady, just
because
go slower, just go slower.
look at you. You're amazing. I love you so much. Like, shut up. And he's like, no, same. Because you just want to focus on what you're doing. You don't like just stop. You're just filling
Yeah.
my head full of noise. Now I'm
Mhm.
going to lose my footing and falling like,
Yeah.
it's okay. Just get back up. It's like, no. But it's the same thing, social pressure. It's funny that you mentioned, Elena, like the dogs. Like, you just have to face them away from the other dogs. Whenever we have new staff or people that hire us to do enrichment consultants at home, they're like, well, I was trying to do it and my dog just won't do this game. It's like, try facing them this way. So they're just on the game and the other dogs in the house aren't looking at them. And it's like, oh, it's like,
Yeah.
Well,
you just don't think about it.
I feel
Like,
like
put
it
up a barrier. Sometimes it's just like a free for all, and they're like, "I don't know, they just all came in." It's like, "Well, yeah, you can't let them."
I feel like sometimes even though like with the people, like they'll be trying to get their dog to do a game. And obviously with our clients, like
Oh,
some of them will be trying to get their dog to do a game for the first time ever. Like they've never
yeah.
done enrichment with their dog. So obviously their dog might be a bit like, what are we doing? Like this is new. And then the person will be like, get it, find it, you can do it, get it, get it, get it. And I'm like, that's just a lot. Like give them a minute. Like
Yeah.
it's like that thing. I don't know where I
Yeah.
first heard this, but like when you're trying to train your dog and you're giving them a command, give them time to process that command. Like if you're telling your dog sit and your dog's not sitting, don't be like, sit, sit, sit.
Mhm.
I said sit. Be like, can you sit? Give them a minute. Like sometimes they just need to process. Like that's a lot of like sensory overload when you're just constantly like, you can do it. Come on, find it. You can do it. You're so smart. Why aren't you doing it? What's wrong? What's wrong? Like That's a lot of pressure as well.
Totally. Totally. That is a really good example. That happens all the time. And
Yeah.
that's we say in some of our enrichment classes, silence is golden. Like you present the game, you can give some guidance, but then you've got to sit back and not helicopter. And it's because of that, it's the pressure that it puts on the dogs. Sometimes we don't even go into it that deep, like just don't helicopter. But none of us want that. And I would say that
Yeah.
most of those people who tend to just berate their dog and like, come on, come on, come on. You think you're doing it to encourage them. I can almost guarantee you that none of those people would want that. They're not like that. Like if some, they would be very offended if their husband was like, come on, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Go, go. Like it's funny.
Dishes,
Just,
clean the dishes.
I know.
He must a spot.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
It's also knowing your dog too, though, because Obi, my dog Obi, he likes that. So like I always say like his favorite game to do is like the stacked cups. We have little plastic kids cups, and I'll take two of them, put a treat in between them, stack, so he has to get them out. And we'll be playing, and he'll be getting them, and he'll be getting them, but then sometimes he'll just like bring it over to me and just kind of look at me, and I'll have to be like, "Oh, get it! Where's the treat? Get it! Come on! Oh, get it! You're doing so good!" And then he'll get all wound up, and he'll keep going. So like sometimes he does like that, but then once he's going, I'm like, "Okay, sit back and shut up." But then like occasionally he does like that little bit of encouragement to be like, "Oh, get it! Where's the treat? Oh, it's in there! Oh, get this one now! Oh, where are you taking it?" Like he loves that. So
Yeah.
it is knowing your dog as well, which
Describing
is
that
hard.
though, how I hear that, I think he's just trying to bring you into the game, you
That's
know?
true.
I
Yeah.
think that's how he's trying to like, come on, Maren, come on.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I think
true.
he's trying to tie you into it versus you over pressuring him to do it. I think he's trying to do it with you.
Yeah,
That's how I hear you describing
that
that.
is true.
Because that,
He does like the interactive. But just what I'm saying, like don't overbear, don't encourage your dog. But I'm like,
yeah.
actually, Obi really likes that. So
Yeah, I think it's all in how you do it because sometimes at school too, the dogs like the one where we have the cups stacked like a tower and then they have to
Mhm.
knock them down. And I work toward not even having treats involved. For me, it's just fun to see if I can stack them up faster than they can knock them down. And sometimes if they're just too good and they're just smacking the cups, I'll fling a little treat to get them to go away. But then it's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I act like I'm all pressured. And then they're like hitting each other, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And we just get really silly together. So I don't feel like that feels as pressury.
Yeah, I feel like there's a
You're
difference
just getting
between
goofy together.
yeah, there's a difference between interacting with your dog and
Mhm.
pressuring your dog.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
But
not always
it
what
can
you
be a
say
yeah,
either,
it
like
can
your
be a
body
fine
language.
line.
Yeah, yeah, like, if you're standing over them and, like, "Do it, do it, do it," that's a lot, but, like, I don't know, you just have to figure out, like, the
I
middle
feel like
ground.
yeah, I feel like when in doubt, be goofy because that's
Mhm,
not
Hmm.
pressure. Then that's just like fun,
mhm,
like, oh, what's in here? Oh, do you see it? Oh, you can get it. Oh, come on, let's see. Like, that's fun rather than like, why aren't you doing it? Come on, get it. Are you stupid? Like,
mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We've had people like that too. Or pushing your dog, thinking you're encouraging them. This happened recently. And it's with the timid Shire dogs. You see this a lot with the street dogs who get rescued
mm,
and stuff.
Clover.
Um,
Mm,
Clover, this was Clover, and we've had a couple other dogs at school since then who are just kind of like they have to take their time and feel safe, and that's cool. We give dogs as much time and space as they need. If they just sit watching us from 6 feet away for the first two visits, that's fine. We have no agenda for them. But the parents trying to be encouraging good parents are like, you're fine. You told me this morning you were going to be fine. Get in there. It's like, please don't do that because now you're exerting pressure. You're putting into a situation you shouldn't feel safe with. It's like, you have to be careful. And I know they mean everything good and they're trying to be encouraging. But again, is it
Yeah,
necessary? Like, are
yeah,
you exerting pressure?
and
What's
especially
your dog's body language telling you?
if that dog is still fairly new to your life, and so like you don't have that
Yeah.
necessarily like that what is that term that we
That
always use that I
currency, the
can't think of
social
right now?
Oh,
currency.
social
Social
currency.
Social
currency,
currency. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
like, why can I not
Yeah,
think
can
of
they
that
trust
term?
you? They're
Yeah,
still
like
figuring out if they can trust you,
yeah,
especially
like you
those
have
street dogs,
yeah,
they're
I
used
feel
to
like
living without people.
yeah, you have to give them so much grace, I feel like, and make them feel like they can trust you before you're pushing them into the situation that they're unsure with, because they're still maybe a bit unsure of you. So like you haven't
Yeah.
reached that level yet where they'll be like, okay, like mom says it's okay, so it must be okay. They're still like, this lady that I kind of know is telling me that it's cool, but it doesn't seem cool. So I don't know. Like there's so many factors like that you have to think
Mhm.
about. Like dogs don't just inherently trust you as like so you have to
Except labs.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Labs will trust anyone that even
Shout out to
glances
labs.
at them. Shout out
labs.
to Bliss. Oh, Bliss could make eye contact with a random man on the street and he could tell her to do something and she'd be like, all right.
She'd go home with them,
She would.
like,
And she'd be happy.
It'd
yeah,
be fine.
yeah. But most dogs aren't like that, or it's like the time that it takes. Um, the one dog I'm thinking of has been with us a couple days, and she did okay. We just let her have a lot of space. One dog around her was okay. I'll do a few treats, games with you that are simple, and then I want space. Okay. So then it doesn't make visit number three where it's like, well, you know this place, go. It's like she is clearly telling you she needs time. So with anything, dog parks, just don't force. I don't think you're ever going to make a mistake if you err on the side of safety. If it feels like your
Mhm.
dog's resistant or nervous, I think it's safer to just like, okay, not today.
Yeah,
I
and
think
that's
you'll do
not
way more damage if you force.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
not you being like overbearing or like too sheltering your dog. Like it's just
Mm-mm.
respecting their fears cuz like you can't the thing is like you can't communicate with your dog even if you're telling them it's okay, like this place is safe. Oh, Miss Stephanie's so nice. She's going to take such good care of you today. Your dog doesn't know English. So like that's not doing anything for them. So
Yeah.
it's baby steps cuz like you can't communicate to them that it's okay. You just have to like build it up and show them that it's okay. But like you can't just tell them it's okay and expect them to be like, "Oh yeah, you're right. Like my bad." Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just not how it works.
well, and they haven't, like, connected the language that you're using to anything yet to know, like, "Oh, it's okay." Because like,
Mhm.
we always say, like, the Mister Rogers hack or things like
Mhm.
that, like,
Yeah.
use the same words over and over and over again,
That
and
takes a
then they
while to build up though.
it takes a
Mhm.
while, so you can't just be like, "It's Miss Stephanie, and it's, what dogs want," and they're
Yeah.
like, "I don't know what that is." Like, "What?
Yeah.
Okay." Like,
Yeah.
now, like, we have parents that, like, in
You
the
wanna go to
morning before
school?
they're
Yeah.
getting yeah, like, go to school and their dogs go insane because they know what
Mhm.
it is, but right off the bat, they're not gonna know. Same with Jude, like,
Yeah, it's
we go
like a
into a new
toddler.
place it
He
is
Tries
doesn't
to
know
behave like
English
kids.
yet.
Yeah.
Like
Behave
yeah,
like kids.
yeah, exactly. We went to a birthday party this past weekend, and it took, like, 10, 20 minutes for him to feel safe enough to let go of our finger and leave our side, and we weren't like, "Go
Aw.
play, go play,
mhm.
go play," but
Yeah.
just give them time to assess that social dynamic. They need time to assess everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fully believe that dogs can be introverts, extroverts, shy, whatever you want to call it. Like there's it's such a huge spectrum based on their breeds and their learning and their experiences and their relationship with you and so many things and how many scary things are in that room where you go back into the dynamics. Are there two dogs
Mhm.
I have to get used to or 20? And then they're people. It's so layered and so complex,
Mhm.
and to me, that's what makes it amazing and why we keep doing this. And we question each other all the time and bounce ideas like, okay, hey, did you have better luck with this dog? Sometimes they just relate better to one of us than others because of
It's
how we are or
Mhm.
Mhm.
whatever.
It's also it's been really cool to see because like we were saying earlier, like we've kind of mixed things up in the past 2, 3 years. Like we've made a lot of changes to try and figure out, okay, is this dynamic better? Are smaller classes or shorter classes? What's the best thing to do? So we've experimented a lot and it is really cool to see that pay off because I feel like we've had a couple dogs, especially some of our little guys. Shout out to Briggs. He's who I'm thinking
Mhm.
of. But
Hi, Briggs.
Briggs, he's a little dachshund and he's a typical dachshund. Like he's the sweetest boy ever, but he does have some issues with especially like bigger dogs. Like he's a lot like my dog Obi. And so he used to come on a day where there were a lot of really big, really rowdy dogs and he just didn't vibe with them. And so he would get grouchy and we'd have to kind of like separate him with the little dogs so he could like do games and not have to worry about the big crazy kids. And now he comes on a day where it's mostly little dogs. Like it's all little dogs and then like two of our big dogs who just look like little dogs
Think they're
that
little
are
dogs.
yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out Ruby and Zoe. So
I know.
he comes now on a day where it's like pretty much little dogs. And I feel like there was such a transformation when we made that change for him and a couple of our other little dogs as well. But he's just who I think
Yeah,
who like comes to mind first. Like now he like has so much more fun. He has friends, he does the games, and like he had some friends before, but it was all like you could tell that he was always concerned about what are those
mhm,
big crazy kids doing over
mhm,
there. And now he can
mhm,
just kind of like chill, like he's like the sweet boy that like he is when he's not around the big kids. Like he just has such better days now that we've
yeah,
found the group that he works better in. And I feel like a lot of the dogs that are in his group had similar issues where like they were struggling a
yeah,
lot. And now that they're in a smaller class with just little dogs, they have really good days and they have fun and they have friends. And so it's just really cool once you feel like you've cracked the code and like figured out a good group and like everyone starts to thrive more. It's really cool.
totally. Oh my
Yeah.
I
god,
like that.
yeah. Yeah, it was the best thing we've ever done, and I know the parents struggled while we were trying to figure it out, but we got all these new dogs in so quickly, and we grew really fast, and so, like you mentioned, like, we don't have the space, but even when we did have the space, because once we were in a warehouse, it was like 7,000 square feet, and we had multiple classrooms and divided dogs up, but they still knew at the end of that area, there are 8 more dogs.
Yeah, and they
It
could
was
hear
really
them.
interesting smell them. They heard other people. So the dynamics still mattered, even though we were separated. I think the only way to do a huge class like that would be to like literally have a school
Yeah,
and individual classrooms with space in
like
between
soundproofed rooms.
for
Yeah.
reals, because the dogs and certain breeds are even more sensitive to it, are just aware of everything and it all matters. So I really don't know how some of these daycares survive.
Yeah,
I don't know. We don't have to even go into that right now, but it's so much and they people are happy that their dogs go home tired. Like, why do you think they're so tired? Their brains have been on fire for
yeah. It's
8
like they've
hours.
been overstimulated. Now they're just like crashing.
It's
Yeah.
me at the mall. I
Stress.
cannot handle malls, the lights, the sounds, the crowds, the people bumping into you, there's way too much to think about and navigate and figure out how you fit in so I don't look like I'm from another planet and I feel like I do anyway, but it's so much and I'm wiped after something like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Or concerts sometimes, like if there's just a ton of people, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
So think about
yeah.
that from a dog, and they're not even sure what's going on. They just know that they were deposited into this group of other dogs and some humans, and all this stuff's going on. That's got to be insane, you
And for
know?
a lot of dogs, that's happening at least a couple times per week. So it's not like even for us, we're like, yeah, like when I go to a concert, when I go to a party, and that's like once a month that happens. And then I'm like, that's enough. But for these dogs, it's like every day, every
Yeah,
other day, at least once or twice a week that this is happening. So it's just like they have no recovery period even.
Yeah.
yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Okay, so yeah, basically in conclusion, to this subject, the best way to not apply social pressure and help with the dynamics is to just kind of give them the space that they need, the time that they need to assess what's going on, rein yourself in a little bit if you have to, try to consider like how you're responding to them and how you're making them feel. how the environment is going to make them feel. Um, just giving yourself a little bit more, toning it down a little bit, so that your dog can think for themselves, really, honestly, which is a
Yeah.
thing that we say a lot. Um, but yeah, that is social dynamics, very complex. I don't even think, excuse me, we didn't even really get into like the major complexities of it. But I mean, that's in a nutshell things to think about when you're going into a group of dogs.
Mhm.
Um, so thanks for hanging out with us on What Dogs Really Want. If you like this episode, hit that follow button, leave a review or a comment, and share with someone whose dog might be trying to tell them something. If you have a myth you want busted or a behavior you're curious about, you can drop us a DM, or a voice memo. You can find us on Instagram at What Dogs Want. You can find us at What Dogs Want Academy.dog.
wdwacademy.dog.
WDW Academy.dog. Thank you. Um, you can find us on Facebook at What Dogs Want. Um,
YouTube.
and YouTube. Yes. Um, and next week we are going to be doing a Halloween special. We're
Ooh.
Ooh, spooky. So we're going to talk about how you can set your dog up for success on Halloween night if you have trick or treaters coming to the door, if you're planning on taking them out, um, all the tips and tricks that we have to help you get through the night or
Yep.
help your dog get through the night. Honestly, I
Yeah.
think you'll be okay, but your
Yeah,
dog might
dogs
not be.
don't want a scary Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
All right.
Thank you.
See ya.